Hello, this is Isaiah Grant with Thinking in Circles. And what I'm going to start doing is every now and then, semi daily, every maybe 2 days or so, is offer some guidance. And this guidance will most likely resonate with you if you are on my wavelength. And by hearing this guidance and resonating with it, most of you will find that the guidances that I will give will be synchronistically linked to the journey that you are in life. So you'll also find in me, in a large way, a kindred spirit. But directly to the guidance, and I get these guidances usually daily from what would be known as my spirit guide, which I am very in tune with. Okay, and the guidance for the day goes like this. Okay, a lot of times we are in a situation in our life. Sometimes we get caught in these slumps, and we will tend to think of the past. We'll tend to think of things that we've been through. And sometimes we get caught in the illusion that the things that we've been through will just be the ultimate thing that will guide the rest of our lives. And sometimes those things in the past that I'm really speaking of are things that are more of a negative value, you know? And keep in mind, that's something that is enforced in not just the from the lower serpent brain center, but also the limbic center, where we have the aspect of our brain that gives us memories, the hippocampus, that are usually of a negative aspect, and you're gonna see that what I was given, that the negative aspect is really not all as bad as we think, because we have to look at the myth of Lot leaving Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, and this is in the Hebrew biblical tradition, and how he left with his family, and his town was destroyed, okay, by a meteor. Okay, some people have said it's a nuclear explosion, okay? But a nuclear explosion, if we want to think about that it was a nuclear explosion, okay? That's an apocalyptic situation. Apocalyptic situations, psychologically, we could say, right? Spiritually, would represent a great cataclysmic time of change in our own lives that usually end up in some form of depression and looking back. Well, in this story, his wife looked back and was turned into a pillar of salt, okay? Nevertheless, he ended up leaving with his family members and repopulating the earth, if you will, okay? So, moving ahead now, this pillar of salt actually alchemically is the prima materia. It actually contains fire within it, and fire is something that allows you to have the creative energy to move forward. Okay, so we have one way of looking at negative things from our past, negative times from our past that are influencing our present, moving towards the future, that can dissolve even our future situations if we allow it to. But also, the fact that it's prima materia, the prima materia will have within it, your negative circumstances and situations have within it things that allow you to become something so much better. It's actually a wellspring, a mine of things that you can go back on and learn from, and actually use the negative energies to transform for yourself a better future. and juxtaposing the whole idea of Lot leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, his wife being turned into a pillar of salt. She became basically, if you will, the prima materia. You know, they were told to leave and to not look back, you see. And the key is not to not look back, because then that would be repression. We don't want to repress situations. We want to look straight at them, and especially the negative, and extract from those situations something of value and something of worth, so we can move ahead into a greater and more positive future. And that helps if we know that there is no past, there is no future, there is only a now that we are consciously residing in within our mind. Okay, so I'm going to read a piece of information that is from Shiva to Kali, because Kali has a lot to do with that prima materia. Okay, so at the disillusion of things, it is Kala, time, who will devour all, and by reason of this, he is called Mahakala, an epithet of Lord Shiva, and Kali is standing on Lord Shiva, okay, in the picture. And since thou devourest Mahakala itself, it is thou who art the supreme primordial Kalika, because thou devourest Kala. Thou art Kala, the original form of all things, and because thou art the origin of all, I mean, of and devourest all things, thou art called the Adia, primordial Kali, resuming after dissolution thine own form, dark and formless. Thou alone remainest one, ineffable and inconceivable. Thou having a form yet art thou formless. Thou thyself without beginning, multiform by the power of Maya, which is illusion. Thou art the beginning of all creatrix, protectress, and destructress that thou art. The figure of Kali conveys death, destruction, and the consuming aspects of reality. As such, she is also a forbidden thing, or even death itself. Okay, so in reading that, I read that to juxtapose it with the Lot story. And basically, what I'm talking about and what I'm saying is that time is an illusion. Time, which Kali represents, you know, but it's also destruction, but it's also creation at the same time. You know what I mean? We can look at the goddess Nyx in the Greek Orphic idea, that she is a creative darkness. You see, darkness in the context of our society, we've always looked at it as something negative. It is something within all of us from which everything has come. If you think about your desires too, the things that you want, they all proceed from a lack, from an emptiness, you know, and that emptiness, then if you think about it, the things that you've desired, that you stepped out towards and forward, are things that a lot of times have brought you great joy, have brought you great success, but they come from an empty state. They come from a darkened state. They come from a negative state, quote unquote, if you will. And understood correctly, they're not a negative state. They're not a dark state the way that we look at dark or negative in our society. So I would just urge each and every one of you that are possibly thinking about the past, possibly thinking about time in relation to things that you are moving head towards, and for that, time is the illusion, you see, and that even that which you wish to do, right, is looking at you. Okay, if you can look at your goals are desiring you. What you desire is desiring you. So what it is that you're moving forward and towards is desiring you, is wanting to become manifest, but it's doing so from an energy that we misappropriate, I mean, inappropriately look at in a negative state, you know, and it's because it comes from a dark place. It's because it comes from a place that is uncertain. Okay. So I just wanted to share that, and to give everybody that is within earshot that finds themselves aligned to this guidance, the assurance that you can move forward. Don't look back on the past or time or the feelings that you get from the past negatively. Use that prima materia for what it is for, and use it to transform your new existence into that which you want it to be, and understand that that's done in the now. So I'm going to terminate this transmission. Hopefully you gain something from this based upon how it's received, and even not just directly based upon how it's received. Every now and then I'm just going to continue to throw these tidbits of things that I receive personally, because I just know that there are others out there that are on my wavelength. I'm not the only one that is receiving things from the particular wavelength that I am, and it will resonate. And if it resonates with you, you may find that some other information that I have on my Thinking in Circles page may resonate with you also as well. Be blessed, and I'll be back at you guys with some more from what it is that I personally receive through living through this daily lifetime walk of mine.